country star Jake Owen. He joins us now live on the phone. And Jake, I know you were one of the performers there at this country music festival. Where were you when the shooting actually started happening? What did you see and hear?
I was standing side stage, actually, about 50 feet from Jason he was actually out on the runway of the stage. And before I walked up on stage, they'd said something to us about pyrotechnics on stage, so they were not allowing really so many people up there. So when the shots started being fired, at first I thought it was pyrotechnics, and then you could hear it ricocheting off of the top of the stage on this stage, and that's when I noticed people literally being shot. It was pretty chaotic, and I think we're all still kind of not really knowing what's going on, and it's kind of a bad movie, you know?
It's terrible, Jake, and I completely understand what you're saying there. How close were these bullets coming into the concert stage? You said you were standing just off stage left or right from Jason Aldean, who was finishing up this show. How close were you seeing the bullets come in?
Well, I mean, you could just hear it, and I guess what was amazing was it sounded, I mean, I've heard guns before go off, but this one sounded like fully automatic, some sort of weapon that was just nonstop, and it stopped for about 30 seconds, and then it was almost like a reload and back on it again for another, just unloaded for another 30 seconds, and literally at that point, people are running in all directions, and chaos is happening, and I ran and somehow found a bus to hop on another parking lot, and everyone seemed to be okay over here. There was people with casualties in the street. But yeah, I honestly I don't know any other way to put it other than I got to tell you I was pretty scared along with a lot of other people.
Jake, I know you said obviously you took off running along with everyone else. What about the people that were on stage? We saw the video of Jason pausing. Obviously, you could see when he realized what was really happening as well and running off stage. Was anyone injured on stage, or did you see anyone injured around you?
Everyone fled the stage pretty quickly. By the time I got there was people hopping fences, and by the time I got to the street, there was definitely people in the street covered in blood and people screaming and not knowing what to do. I'm still on a bus staring back at the stage where the Luxor's in the background, and I mean, all the roads are blocked off. There's cops everywhere, and I mean, we're all just kind of don't know where to go, what to do, and there's some of us can't get a hold of other people. So it's I just really wish for everyone out there that was a part of this, and we put on concerts to take people away, from kind of the day-to-day life and bring them to a happy place, and this isn't any means what's supposed to happen at these things. And I think us as a community aren't going to let this bring us down either. We're going to continue to do what we do and bring these people up, because this isn't what our America's supposed to be like. We got to fix this.
Absolutely, that's a great message to have there, Jake. And let me ask you one more question. I know oftentimes musicians are pretty good gauges of crowd size. Maybe somebody in your camp has told you about how many people were attending this concert when this happened. Do you have any indication? Because we've heard a lot of different numbers.
I mean, I would honestly say there's no doubt in my mind it had to have been at least 20 or more thousand. I mean, and from where the stage is, from hearing where the shooter was shooting from the Mandalay Bay, and I'm literally looking at it right now from the bus window. I mean, it was a perfect angle, and you have a sea full of people out there, and a guy with sounded like a fully automatic, rifle. I mean, yeah, it's just shoot. There was no chance for a lot of people to get out of the way. I mean, everyone was just scrambling.
Hey, Jake, you said you're still on the bus. Have you been able to move at all, or are they making everyone still shelter in place? And have you been able to talk to any of the other artists there on the scene?
Yeah, I have. I actually, I talked to Jason. He texted me. I think he got a ride over to the airport, was waiting to hopefully get out. I talked to Kane Brown, and I was standing on the stage with Luke Combs and actually Dan Bilzerian. We were standing side stage together when this all went down, and everybody seems to be okay. I mean, for the folks that were out in the crowd that were just there with an open shot from where he was shooting from the Mandalay, it was just, you couldn't tell where it was coming from. It was just loud and nonstop, and people were screaming. And it was just, It's wild.
That's the scariest part, is that you're in this situation and you have, I mean, who would ever have suspected that it was somebody across the street from the hotel? We've seen this time and time again where they storm the entrance and come in and they're on the ground. So to not know where they are, to not know where to go to get away from it is just horrifying.
What did Jason say to you since he was on stage?
I mean, he just texted me to make sure we were okay. But I mean, my buddy Chris Young and my other buddy Tyler Reeve, who played earlier in the day, they were in a trailer behind the stage that had gotten hit with bullets. It's everybody. No matter where you went here, you weren't out of the way. I mean, it's a miracle that more people. Unfortunately, the folks that passed away. I mean, I can't even fathom that. But it's a miracle that more people were not injured because of how long this went on. And this went on for at least 5 minutes.
Man.
Yeah, it was, and it's also just incredible to see how quickly police descended on where the man was shooting from, because, I mean, this is not an easy thing to solve. I mean, in this chaos, we heard people telling us that there were shootings at different hotels. You're getting so much information coming in a moment like that. Nobody has any idea what's going on. You just know you're hearing gunshots, and it's just pure chaos.
I will say this, though, and I think it's a huge shout out to the law enforcement and people that responded here in Las Vegas, because with as many people that were out there, I mean, we don't give enough credit to our law enforcement people out there that are putting their lives on the line to keep us all safe during a moment like this. And I think they handled it rather well, and I think they definitely need a huge pat on the back for that.
Hey, Jake, we've heard of these shootings that have happened. There was the shooting that happened in Orlando. There was a shooting that happened at the concert, the Ariana Grande concert. Is this anything that you and your security team have discussed? If something like this happened, what do you do? Is this anything that even had entered your mind as a possibility at one of your concerts?
Unfortunately, because of the way the world has been these days, it's constantly on our minds. We're all careful, and I think the most unfortunate thing is looking out in the crowd tonight. You see fathers with their kids on their shoulders, and I mean, this was a country concert people came to from all over, and they just came to enjoy themselves with. And you don't think, and everyone knows what's out there and the possibilities. But the thing about our beautiful country is that we get to, thanks to the men and women fighting for our freedom, we get to every day walk out there and feel that we're okay and we're safe in this country. And you tend to forget about this sort of thing. And to answer your question with a long answer, I mean, yeah, we sometimes think what could happen, but I don't think any of us ever really think that something like this is really going to,
you never expect it to happen until it happens when you're there. That's what everybody says. They say it could never happen to me. You hear about it. You hear about the news. Jake, thanks so much for joining us on the phone now. We do appreciate it.